This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
Good evening. Welcome to Going Off Grid, episode 25. I am G Bender, one of your co-hosts here, along with Crypto Queen. And yeah, we are on episode 25, about halfway through the halfway. Pretty excited for tonight. Before I go further, though, let me just go ahead and get this disclaimer out the way. This is not financial advice. You can lose all your money investing. This is also not for educational or entertainment purposes. I nor anyone that is speaking is a financial, political, legal, medical, betting, or any type of expert advisor. These are our thoughts and opinions on different topics only. This is being recorded for future rebroadcast and clips on other platforms. Thank you. Queen, are you there? Can you hear me?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. How's the weekend for you?
It was good. How about you?
Well, I tell you, it's kind of led into tonight's theme. Kind of gave me an epiphany. I had gone all week and was just clueless to the fact that I needed to create the space. Like, it just kind of hit me Saturday. Like, oh, you should be creating the space. Because I have been on the move. Like, okay, let's create the space. So, I'm on a walk. I go to a little metro park around the corner from where I live at, and it's almost noon. It's in the 90s, but it's pretty shaded. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just doing it. Just doing it right now. I've had a busy morning. I'm just going right now. Like, I'm just not sacrificing that one for today. So I'm doing a pretty fast paced walk, and I'm feeling myself a little bit because I'm just like everybody's part does like this fast paced walk, or they're running. They're running, they're jogging, they're biking. Like, it's all kinds of stuff going on, but everybody's just like that's the locked in one. So I'm feeling myself, and I'm listening to some spaces. And have you ever like made that perfect? You're coming up. You're on the highway and you're coming up on somebody in front of you in that lane, and you just make that gradual drift around them without breaking any of your speed, and then get back into the lane and keep going like there's nothing impeding your progress or anything like that.
I'm sure I have at some point, Bender.
You know, you've got it probably done to you. Yeah, just somebody you just see them in the rear view, and they're just and they just that really smooth, nothing. You know, it was like aerodynamic, like they caught the draft. You know, just passed you with ease.
Yeah.
Well, I had this little, and I thought about it because today it was not an Asian lady. She did the same thing to me, but I had this little. Hey, I'm about 6'3". I'm at the shortest of tall people, but I had this little Asian lady. And she looked like I had to look down at her. She looked like she was like half my size. She's probably like 5'2", 5'3". I looked down at her, and I just kind of catch her out the corner of my eye, Queen, and she just makes this perfect. And I mean, I'm tall. I'm doing decent. I'm at a decent like treadmill, 3.5, 4 mile per hour speed. Like, and she just swoops around me like effortlessly, like it just kept going. And I look up, and she's like 10 feet of 15 feet ahead of me. And so I'm sitting here like, wow, I thought I was moving fast. And this lady just blows right past me. So I'm just watching it for a second, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to try to keep up with her just step for step. Like, let me get in her step zone. And she was still like pulling away from me. And it was kind of getting awkward because like I'm locked in. And finally, like, Obi-Wan Kenobi and like Yoda came down and just downloaded into my brain, and they were like, you know, like, let go, like, let the force take over. Like, you're missing something. You're missing the velocity. You're missing that extra oomph. And where I'm walking, just to kind of give y'all a little trip down what I'm talking about. So like there's this main path, and it's like brick or stone or whatever. It's like paved. And then like there's these little offshoot like little nature trail flat paths you can take, and then you can just kind of hop back on the main trail again. So I said, all right. So I hop off on this trail, and it takes you like 50 feet out your way, and um, and I'm just like, I'm going to get into it, and it was like the same steps, but just a little extra effort. And so like it comes out at the other end, and I almost meet her like right at the same point. She didn't look up, Queen. She didn't say anything, but I could tell she caught me out the side of her eye, and she just kind of gave this nod, like, you got it. You got it now. Like, you get it. And then she kind of just kept going, but she never looked up at me, but it was kind of like a mutual understanding. And so that's what kind of brought me to the night, Queen. I said, you know what? When you think you're doing something, always know there's somebody out there that's just an extra level ahead of you, an extra step above, and you got a lot to learn, bro. And I said, you know what? Queen's in charge. Queen's in charge. I got lots to learn. I'm just letting Queen take the wheel tonight.
But see, you
So
didn't let Queen know in advance, so she can't prepare. So she's really not ready for this
it,
opportunity. Nor is
it
she.
was not your fault.
Nor is she an expert or any level, even coming close to your hosting skills, Bender. She's just a lowly co-host. She's always been a co-host. That's all she's ever going to be.
Queen, we got Julian Trash in here, and even they know that's fair. That's fitting.
Your co-host just got off
Hey,
work of like in the time it took her to drive home. She is not prepared.
hey, I'm gonna make it easy on you tonight. You got one decision to make. B, they know the real. Um, you're an excellent co-host. Don't ever put yourself down like that, please. I wouldn't even be doing Twitter Spaces if it wasn't for you hosting. Well, I shouldn't say that. I wouldn't be continued to doing. I wouldn't be where I'm at now without you hosting this. So you're an inspiration. But I do have one thing you got to decide on tonight. Are we going? Are we stopping at 9? Or are we stopping at 9:30? Are we stopping an hour or an hour and a half?
Let's go an hour
That is your
tonight. I'm good
decision.
with that.
Good
All
evening,
right.
from New England.
Good evening, Mike. How are you?
I don't know. Ask Jen how I'm doing, Jen. Do I look like I'm having a good day on social media, Jen? I guess I'm not.
What'd you say, Mike?
Do I look like I'm having a good day on social media?
You look like you're having a great time. You've been posting all day. I've enjoyed living vicariously through you.
I guess I'm having a good day then.
I just literally just watched your TikTok walking through the mall. Like, I don't know how random that is, but that was pretty random since you asked. How was Spider Man?
How's what?
How was Spider Man?
Oh, the movie Spider-Man. Oh, yeah. Oh, it was really good. Obviously, you can't top 1, 2, or 3, but they did a good job of continuing the story. And it's an amazing series. Obviously, like Spider-Man is the number one superhero in the world by a long shot. It's been like that for decades for a reason. It's amazing.
Got it. Spider Man is probably one of my favorite Marvel characters. It's actually been out of all the movies. It's probably one of the few I can follow and kind of keep up with. I don't know. No, it wasn't Spider Man. That wasn't Marvel. It was Star Wars. The last ones they've had. I was totally lost. Like after the second one.
You're not the only one,
Like,
man. I couldn't even watch the second or third one.
Return of the Sith was really good. Like they could have put that out and could have just been one and done. Just to be honest, like the rest of them were okay. But Return of the Sith was like, yeah, that was that deal.
And you know who is a really good host though, Bender? You know who is great and off the cuff? I mean, it's a genius. Mike.
Crypto Queen. Mike is too, but Crypto Queen.
He wants the guest spot. I feel like he wants that.
I want to know, Jen, like, are you good at dancing? I asked you earlier. I just want to know.
No, I'm not, Mike. No. If I've had a lot to drink, I might be decent, but otherwise, no.
Fair enough.
Mike, please tell Crypto Queen she's one of the best. She knows it. I'm not. I'm not even going. I don't have to tell you.
Definitely. I just wish that
She's
she'd come up on the spaces on Tuesday. She told me that it's our fault because we're always up. We're like full all the time. I was like, really? We're always full? I didn't even notice because I'm not really hosting there. I'm just co-hosting. It's Dark that brings people up and everything.
Yeah, you guys have a full panel. I thought they were invited, so I didn't request up. But I'll be happy if you guys ever need a speaker. Just let me know. I'll be there tomorrow night though. But look, my reception is terrible, and so it's a hit or miss these days.
Oh, by the way, shit, Bender. Jen, I gotta say it's just because I am not. I don't care about these people like that, but they're really cool. They're having the Gassy parties like in I think Montreal, Dallas, New York City, and Miami. And just FYI, if you want the information, I can get it to you. My mom and I are going to the Gatsby party in New York City. It is so dope.
Yeah, I would love it.
that sounds good.
Maybe we even get Vendor out to one.
If he's
What?
close to one of the cities, why not? I'll send him the information right now. I only have the New York City one though, unfortunately for now. But yeah, I'll send it over.
I'm in grab mode. Catch me. I don't know. I can't say that. Send me the info. You never know. I'm gonna eventually pop up as something. Shout out to everybody in the room. Shout out to Julia Cash. Shout out to Treasure once again. Mike, Crypto Queen. Thank you for stepping up. Rugrats in the building along with Josie. Who you got for community shouts tonight, Queen?
I'm gonna shout out you, Bender, for being the best host in the space. The one we've all learned from, the one who's been here in the trenches since the very beginning. Shout out to you, Bender.
Wow. Okay. Thanks. Anybody else?
No, not really.
Okay.
Jen, I just sent you the information for the Great Gatsby party, and I'm sending it to Jen right now. So that should be for all the major cities where they're hosting them.
Where is it? What is it called? A great.
The Great Gatsby, you know, like Leonardo DiCaprio, the movie, The Great Gatsby, the Great G guy. Yeah, it's like that. Women
Okay.
have to dress. Women have to dress as flappers. Excuse me, Jen. Men have to dress like the. If you don't dress like you're in the 1920s, they're not letting you in. Basically, it's like that strict.
Wow. Okay. I'm gonna have to definitely do some research on that.
You never saw The Great Gatsby?
Maybe once. I'm sure in school at some point.
A long time
I
ago.
can't-
You watched the
yeah.
old one, not the new one.
Yeah, I haven't watched either one. Is it a musical?
I don't remember it being a musical.
Not
It's
really.
drama.
It's not.
Okay.
They have music, but it's not a musical. That makes any
Okay,
sense.
I'll watch it then because I for some reason I can watch musicals live, but I can't. I don't like the only musical I've ever liked in movie format was Happy Feet. Like that's it. Like any other musical, like I'm ready to go in like 15 minutes. I can't really tell you why. It's just I'm out. Mike, any community shout outs you'd like to give?
Not really, but I just want to say that like some musicals can be actually pretty decent. Just want to say that. Like I think Elton John's was. I'm not a musical guy either. Elton John's was bearable. Just FYI, I thought it was a bearable at least.
I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like I can't watch them in a movie. Like people just breaking out in song and dance like randomly in a movie. I don't know. It's just the mental block with me. But I can go straight to a play and I'll vibe right along with it in real time.
So you can't watch Indian movies, right?
Can't watch what?
Movies from India.
I like Bollywood.
They're musicals, kind of.
I haven't watched enough to know. Don't let me lie. I'm just keeping it real, but
I'm
I
trolling,
just
bro. I'm trolling.
I live around a ton of West Indians and I'm pretty cool. So like, so yeah. But I watched a little Bollywood. I can't recall it being all musical related though. But I didn't understand what I was watching either without subtitles. So
That's kind of the point.
yeah. I got a community shout out. First off, shout out to you guys. Appreciate y'all coming up. Queen is taking over week 25. Also, along with Mike here, I sent you a co-host invite. We'll just do it that way tonight here. You know what? I'm going to shout out the Doginal Dogs. They had a launch this week of a trading card game. Doginal Dog Legends, I believe, is what it's called. Gave me a lot, Queen Mike. I don't know if you're around for this, but gave me a lot of Shiva Eternity vibes in terms
Love
of
it.
just that excitement of the card game. They've got an online playing option too as well. So shout out to those guys. And then I posted this one up here. I'm gonna find the tweet I sent for them too. But I posted this one up here. I want to give a shout out to my guy Zane Zymeen, aka Daniel, aka Sheba Soaps and Scrubs. He just shows so much, and I mean so much love on the timeline to everybody. He supports so many communities. He supports a lot of NFT projects. Um, can't say enough about him. This one, I think he started a series with one of my other favorite projects, Tutti Frutti Women, which supports a lot of cancer awareness and that kind of thing there too. But he hosts or helps co-host, I think, on Thursdays with Daisy Arts and Soulmate with their space. And just every time I see him, man, he's just retweeting and supporting and showing love. He shows a lot of love to our space and helps out with sharing the space and that kind of thing. So just one of those people, man. You know, you just can't say enough about him with that one. So my guy James, good look, and appreciate you. Go ahead, Queen. I see you with your hand up. If you had your hand up, I'm not sure if you had your hand up. That's okay if you didn't have.
I think she had it on maybe internet issues on her end. I'm not sure.
She might have internet issues. Oh, no, she declined to co-host. Maybe that was the problem.
Definitely internet issues. No worries. So what's
All
up?
right, we'll keep it moving here, y'all, because we only got an hour tonight. So I'm just going to kind of dive right into it.
Back.
Queen, you back? Maybe. I just heard that.
She's deaf back now. She's a speaker on my end.
Queen, can we hear you?
Can you hear me, Bender?
I can hear you now.
I may have to go back up to Starbucks. This is my first night trying for my house, and it's obviously crashing and burning on early. Anyway, I was just gonna say you talked about the Doginal Dogs, and I see you in a lot of their spaces, and I try to hop in when I can. But look, that's one community. Like I wasn't so sure about them to begin with because they seem to be in a lot of the bundled tokens that were being launched, and I kind of had a side eye out for them. But look, they are consistent, if nothing else. They show up, they host like 24/7 spaces, and like they know how to build a community. I think they're keeping their floor price up pretty well, which is like unheard of in the NFT space these days. So shout out to the Doginal Dogs. If you want to learn how to build a community, that's definitely one group to learn from, isn't it?
Yeah, you know, they really give me early She Army vibes. Like that's just the best way I can put it. They really give me yeah. But I mean, just that constant. You know, we hit the timeline. We're getting things done. Like that run we had summer of 2021 going to 1 million on the blockchain and just getting listed left and right by exchanges and everything. I mean, that was just I can't describe the euphoria that brings you. Like it's out of this world.
You're so right. There's nothing like it. Like just remembering back on those days, like everybody was hyped, everybody was having fun together. Like that's so rare.
Yeah, I like to call it the milkshake era. That milkshake summer was just unbelievable. Like I really credit Milkshake. Shout out to Milkshake if you're out there. I still got a screenshot where she actually joined. This is one of the last few things she actually did on Twitter was join one of our spaces, and I was so honored by that. But
Shiba, I have to ask a question real quick. we
Yeah.
we hear these stories, right? The legendary summers of the on-chain summers, the DeFi summers. It seems like that's gone, right? Unless you're an AI, maybe like it's AI summer or something, but that's not really crypto related. You feel that way as well?
I don't think I don't think anybody has the attention span to build. Maybe the Dojo Dogs, but even they started a couple of years ago. I don't know if there's I don't know from this point this year. I'll say from this year, I don't know if there is enough attention span to build a community like you've seen with with Doge, um, with Bitcoin, with ETH. I don't see it. Like I don't think. I think most people are okay with 2 to 3x and getting in, getting out. Hitting 30%, taking profits, and going about their next project. Like I just really think we're just in a short attention span era. I think crypto as a whole, like maybe, or like the trenches, like maybe you have that kind of everyday cult following, but I don't think there's going to be any individual projects that come out. It's going to, I can't say any, I would say it's going to take something very extremely special to capture minds and hearts for years to come. That might, don't
I
take
feel
people's
that.
financial advice, but I just don't see it. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen anything in a couple of years that's even done that, even come close. Maybe Bonk had a decent run. They had like a 6 month run when they did the launch pad.
You said a couple of years. So basically, since Pump Fund, since Solana, like what was it, 2024, like around like March, April, when it just went crazy, you haven't seen communities ever since then, or all these communities that last long term.
Well, that's something. And I think like the trenches, like Pump Fund users, like there's a cult community of that. But is there an individual token on Pump Fund that's going to do like a sheep and build that kind of community? No. Like, what do you have? Bartcoin, no. Bonk, no. Bonk's not even a pump fund. But what else? Useless wasn't a pump fund. So no, it's been out a couple of years. I don't think
Farcoin
it's
was fun,
ever
by
hit
the way. That was
500
really
million.
fun. The Farcoin thing was really, really fun.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like ones that have hit like a billion. What else? Peanut, no. Dog with hat, no. Like no. Like I haven't
But
seen.
don't you
There's
guys
nothing that's
see?
stuck.
But don't you guys see the importance of like community building with some of these projects that stick around? Like we had so many great communities in the NFT days. Like it was all about community, and people would do whatever for their community. It wasn't even necessarily for their bags. And now with these fun tokens, if they're going to last more than a day, let's say, probably more like a few hours, but we'll say a day, they have to do something for the holders. Like they have to do airdrops. They have to pay them for tweets. They have to airdrop. Oh, I said airdrop. They have to do all these things for their holders just to keep their attention like more than a few hours. It's kind of crazy, and it seems like nobody is interested in community building anymore. It's like maybe a hype group build, but no communities. I mean, you see a few of them out there trying to do it, like the Dogecoin Dogs. I mean, and the power of spaces, like if you have consistent spaces, you're a rarity in this group. Like you see Zach spaces every like twice a week, he's having spaces and he's gonna be there no matter what. Like consistent as possible with our space. But like when's the last time we had a SHIB, and so many tokens out there. When's the last time they had a Pepe space? Maybe a when it pumped a little bit, they had maybe a couple spaces pop up. But to keep a community together, you gotta communicate with them. And like Telegram's kind of dying off, Discord's dead and buried. Like, how do you connect with those people? And the best place to find, all the community in one place is crypto Twitter. So where are the spaces?
And remember, Jen, that crypto Twitter, they basically it's the number two turned off. Like when you turned off like topics, it's the number two after politics. So it's the interest is at an all time low as well for like retail to jump in, unless they're already in. Obviously, like people like us.
No, I think
And
that's the
then TikTok
thing.
kind of took off with crypto, and then they're pumping like random tokens, kind of like the pump fund tokens. Really, they're not really an opportunity for a lot of community VCs or whatever. So it's like, yeah, the tension just kind of died off.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I've seen what is it, the Bitcoin Bull. I think I've seen him posting, but he talks a lot of Bitcoin in those spaces too. But I've seen mainly just kind of it seems like it's either Bitcoin or overall a bunch of projects in the memes, overall a bunch of NFTs in the memes. I don't see a lot of individual projects consistently going right now, with that at all. Like I just, and I could be wrong. There could be others. There could be other spaces besides those from the dogs out there that just do their thing every night. But like mainly, I see if I see somebody on spaces, usually weekly or nightly, they usually are on a variety of topics, not like a specific project, which is understandable. But yeah, like I said, I just think it's just short attention spans at this point. Speaking of short attention spans, I wish Gabby was in the room. I was so excited this week, Queen, when I found out AI was creating jobs.
You gotta love it.
Yeah, maybe. I said that kind of tongue in cheek this week. But I am for real, Gabby, in case you do listen back to this, anybody out there listening, if you do see AI creating human jobs of any sort, please tag me. I do actually want to start like actively hunting for it, because I don't know. I just see it. Well, let me explain here first. So AI, what it created this week, it created 16 new viruses not in nature. Like, we didn't, like, the viruses that are in nature aren't bad enough. We got to create 16 new ones that aren't even in nature. Now, they say this is for research and this is to help out the attack some kind of bacterial blah, blah, blah in the system. This is a good thing, according to the scientists, but it's viruses. And they're not in nature. I think, like, the last time that happened was, like, COVID. Like, yeah. No.
And we all saw how that
AI
turned out.
created that. I mean, did you have any more insight?
Not about that, but
Oh,
I
no, it
did.
is.
I did see. Can you hear me?
Yep.
I did see today that now this is just what was talked about on the news. Don't know if there's any truth to it, but I guess Dr. Fauci had been saying that the COVID vaccines were safe all along for pregnant women, and turns out the cytokine storm that happens in the second booster could be a threat to, like, having a miscarriage in your first trimester. So just passing on the news about viruses.
Listen, I could create a whole nother space and kind of go into the COVID and don't get me wrong, because I do not, let me say this very carefully, because I know people that have actually gotten sick. I know people that have had long COVID. I know people that died from COVID. So I want to be very respectful of how I put this. I do believe it was like, I don't know. I think there was like some kind of randomness to it, and a percentage of people got heavily affected by it. But even a small percentage of people, or thousands, million, that got hit with it. I think the majority of folks probably could have gone about their day. I was in an essential worker position at the time when COVID dropped, and like business as usual for us. And then I also lived in a state where they didn't require a mask or anything. So like the businesses, it was really weird. The businesses, you had to wear a mask, but people walking in, they needed nothing. And like you would just literally just have people just breathing in your face all day, like just that didn't care. And so, like, I would just look up, and like one of my coworkers, like the very next day, who I've been sitting next to for months, would just like be out with COVID, like, and I would be like, wow. And then I would just like never have it. it was like, so like I didn't even like the one time I got tested, it was like you have zero enzymes in your system. Like you could never have it. I was like, wow. Um, so it was like it was really strange, but and I looked up because I shouldn't say I looked up. I have a rare disease where I can't take vaccines, like the flu. Like I took a flu vaccine like a couple of decades ago, and it like knocked me out for like a week. Like it just turned into something full blown something else. And even the what's it called? I don't know, not the FDA, whatever it is, CDC website was like, you with this disease, don't ever take vaccines. Like it even had it on there. I think they even tried to remove it during COVID and got caught. But yeah, so I take it very, very serious. Like my grandma had COVID. Like I've seen people go through COVID. It's no fun. But yeah, the rollout of the vaccine was very eye opening because I was like, you never created a vaccine for AIDS. You never created a vaccine for all this other stuff. But all of a sudden we got a cure for this. Like that was a red flag. And then they were telling you like it was experimental. You can't sue them. And I was like, no, just red flag, red flag, red flag. And like a lot of people I know were just kind of getting it. You know, our state didn't force anything, but a lot of the private businesses, especially medical field, like hospital and stuff, did. And like I was just like, you know, luckily I was at a job that didn't care, but like I think I literally would have just quit. Like versus because like I for me personally it was like I saw what the flu did to me. I can't imagine getting a low dosage form of COVID and like that fully blowing up in my system because my system isn't just like used to being, you know, immune to vaccines. And yeah, I was really, really heartbroken that a lot of people were being forced to take that because I just knew there was something about it that wasn't going to be good. I was hoping for the best, but now I try to, for those that want a way out, yeah, I try to give them some insight on, you know, some detox things that I've seen on the internet that may or may not work and that kind of thing there too, or some alternatives. But I tried my hardest, you know, but you know, I can't tell people what not to do and what not to take, you know, for whatever reason they wanted to take it at the time. But you know, I was really persecuted for that at the time because I was like, yeah, like I'm not taking that, and like, you know, I would have big parts of my family going like, you're not getting vaccinated, like we don't want to be around you, and I'd be like, well, that's fine, like that's cool. Like my grandma was in a nursing home at a time, and they tried to force me to get it. They were like, well, you're gonna have to sit like 15 feet away from her to see her because like she had been in the nursing home for a couple months, and they wouldn't let me see her. I had to just kind of do like FaceTime and stuff, and I was just like, yep, that's fine. Like I just won't be able to touch her. Like that's cool, you know. And you know, I just
It's so crazy.
yeah, that kind of thing.
It's like in healthcare, we saw both sides of it. You know, we saw the sickest of the sick from COVID, and then we were also forced to take the vaccine because if you are a Medicare provider, that was Medicare's ruling. So, like, I had employees that I had to terminate because they wouldn't take the virus and I mean the vaccine. And it's looking back on it now, like, wow, I wonder if those people ever like job back or whatever. I do wonder what happened with those folks. Kind of unfortunate that all that happened.
I just want to say that Fauci, guys, remember, like, I wasn't allowed back then, but my understanding is that Fauci also fucked up AIDS because you mentioned AIDS, Shib. Apparently, the reason why so many people died during the AIDS epidemic at the beginning was because Fauci fucked that up too. So not only did he mess that up, but he might also messed up COVID. So the guy has a history of it. It's not like it was his first rodeo, you know, just as to say.
Yeah, and then when they
But he
caught
can't get
him,
prosecuted. Right?
no, I was just gonna say when they caught him, they caught him. They caught this whole thing where they were all right before the camera came on. They were all scrambling around, putting their mask on. Like, oh, put your mask on. They were all like in the same room talking and everything. And like, I had a healthy. Like I still do some things to this day. Like I wash my hands when I get home after I've been out in public, touching things like door handles or gas station pumps. Like I can't take it. Like I've got to immediately wash my hands. I still do that. And somebody coughing or something, I keep my distance from people. Like I still have like some trauma from it, but for the most part, I just it's whatever. Like I wasn't like really like at the time I wasn't like always wearing. I would only wear masks like around old people, like because I felt like they were really susceptible to it. Everybody else, I was just like whatever. But but yeah, but when I saw them do that and they had to hurt and put the mask on, I was like, man, what in the fugazi is really happening? Like this dude, I think this dude's just pulling the wool over. And then like when they were like, and then they caught him like behind the scenes talking like, yeah, we're just gonna like, like you're not gonna be able to get in school unless you take the vaccine. You're not gonna do this unless you take the vaccine. You're not, and I'm like, dude, who are you? Like, like the flu's out here actually killing people. Like my grandpa died from not flu, I'm sorry, pneumonia. But nobody forces that, like a pneumonia vaccine on me. Like who are you to do that to people? Like that's not. I don't know. There's just a lot of red flags. I'm sorry, yo. I probably shouldn't have taken 10 minutes out of that, but
Shit, Bender, I just want to say, throw this in there.
COVID triggers me.
I lived in Asia for many years, and in Asia, the reason why, because they use Asia as an example, right, for wearing masks. The reason why you wear a mask in Asia when you're sick, for example, in China or Japan, is so people to know that you're sick and to stay away from you. It's not everybody wears a mask. It's you wear the mask, you stay in your corner of the classroom or in the corner of the train or in a public place, and people know, okay, this person's sick, stay away from them. And actually, Fauci said that at the beginning. He said that that's why you wear it. I don't know what happened where he flipped and he's like, everybody's wearing a mask. But he mentioned the fact that that's why it works in Asia because it lets people that are sick let other people know to stay away from them.
Yeah, when you wear
Yeah, Bender,
something
I
like
didn't.
go ahead, Quinn.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say I didn't mention this before, but where that came from, what Fauci was saying, it could be dangerous, was from his private diary, which they submitted as evidence. And I don't guess he can be prosecuted at this point. Maybe some civil penalties. I'm not real sure, but I think he pretty much all as part of that vaccine. Nobody could be held liable, not the drug manufacturers, not anybody who signed off on it. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, they passed a law, like literally, like you can't sue the drug manufacturers if you take this. Like, man, what? Like that was red flag. Like I usually wait, like whatever news coming out, I'll usually give it about 5 years because I don't want to end up on one of those action lawsuit commercials. Like if you took this from 1995 to 2005, like bro, what? So I always try to give things some time to kind of play out in public, to see what they are. And I'll be honest, I mean, even in this day and age, like just watching a commercial for anything coming out, like the side effects, it sounds like it just always outweighs whatever issue it was supposed to be solving. Like the side effects are like 25-1, shot of curing whatever issue you had. So I mean, I'm just kind of out on that, but yeah, he just, I don't know. And it just wasn't him. I mean, the whole system itself was in on it. And like, the fact now, like most of the people that are sitting there on the Senate committee thing when they're grandstanding, asking Fauci all those questions and all that, like, I think the one guy, he was kind of a newer rep, but most of the people were there during COVID. Like, why weren't you dragging him into the Senate hearings then? Like, where were you all at then? You were riding along with it. You were
It was
cashing
fear,
out on
Chip.
PPP loans. You were.
It was fear,
what I
brother.
mean?
It was just fear. I don't want to interrupt you, but it was fear. Remember, we watched V for Vendetta. When people are scared, they don't think. People don't act rational. They just want a very rapid, seemingly effective way to solve the situation. They're not thinking rationally. They're thinking survival in the moment.
Yeah, it's hard looking back on that to even think that the whole world basically just did what they were told. Like, do you think that would ever happen again?
I hope not, because I really hope most people are really just aware now that this is like the worst thing I think the government did was actually drag Fauci into that, because now, like, if something comes out, I think everybody's just going to be really, really super skeptical of it. But I say that, and then I did some historical deep dives into this a couple of years ago, and they ran the same exact playbook with Spanish flu, which was, I can't remember, but it was like a while back, and it was like the exact thing as COVID, like right down to like how they rolled it out. This, it ended up killing a bunch of people. Everything. It was like the COVID of its time. So like history can repeat itself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And should remember that like they probably took it off the internet, but actually for many years, V for Vendetta it was released in 2005. It took place in 2020. It's like they're throwing it in your face. Something's weird there, right? When they're like basically showing this movie about a virus, and then it happens at the same time they're saying it takes place in.
Yeah, I think even I'm not sure about AIDS, but there was another one called I think they've associated like the Ebola virus with the same kind of rollout. And there was one I remember. I don't know if y'all remember the Zika virus. It was supposed to be like making like babies come out with shrunken heads and
Oh
stuff.
yeah, in Brazil, right? Because the
Yeah,
NBA team didn't want to the like Chef Seth Curry didn't want to go to play for the U.S. national team in Brazil because of Zika virus, right?
right. It was like something crazy, but there's been similar patterns of this in the past. It was just like COVID kind of popped off and really took off and worked. Heck, they just tried to do it. What was that called? The Anna antivirus, like where they sequestered the entire cruise ship or something. I think they just tried to pull another one. They just tried to throw that in the wall, see if
Yeah,
it
the past
stick.
few months, and I had a friend tell me 2 months ago. He's like, "Hey, they're gonna shut the government down. They're gonna shut us down again." Literally, he texted me that. I was like, "Dude, it's not gonna happen again after COVID." But yeah, people were scared because it was very recent, right? The past 5 months, right?
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
it was
definitely this year.
virus, right? Hantavirus.
Yeah, antivirus. Yeah, they just tried one. So
That died down real fast, huh? Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
I think it might be too soon, but yeah, you catch people in a couple of generations who forgot about it or are around to see it. Like there was nobody from the Spanish flu around to warn me about what was going to happen. So yeah, I can see that. Um, I'm sorry, y'all. There's a go. Queen, what you got? You name one.
Oh, I want to talk about Cold Card. This has been kind of crazy the last couple weeks. And I feel so bad for the people who've had their money taken. So I wanted to see what you thought about diving deep in there. I see Mr. Lightspeed on the panel. Maybe he can give us some. We're not on the panel. He's a listener. Maybe if he'll come chat with us and give us some insights into how this works. Because I tell you, it's a little too technical for me, not being a dev. But it's pretty sketchy, and I think there's like over 130 million dollars worth of Bitcoin stolen so far in these exploits, and looks like, or I guess a lot of the signs are pointing toward it being an inside job. So you guys want to talk about that?
I'm not a dev, so I'll make that very clear. But what my understanding is this: that like apparently the way they did it, they took from a small pool of words, and they just had like Lazarus Group or somebody else. They basically just all they're doing is like mixing the words up, that small pool of words, and just guessing, randomly guessing like phrases, like millions of them, like a second. And every time it guesses a phrase, they drain a random wallet. So it's not like they're like, oh, let's get Mike's wallet, let's get Jen's wallet, let's get Chip Ben's wallets. Let's just guess passwords and just whatever password hits, we're gonna drain that wallet. Shib or Ben.
I didn't look. I don't know. I guess Queen, when you sent that to the group chat, there was somebody that kind of did a deep dive, kind of figured out it was an inside job. I can't really tell you, for that one. But here's what I will say. I posted up here on the jumbotron too, but this is from the Cold Card original tweet. As promised, we are all doing an investigation. We can get to the bottom of it. We are devastated. The hacker could have done the right thing and responsibly disclosed. Some guy replies back, the new company motto, Cold Card, the hardware wallet that expects hackers to disclose responsibly. And they replied back, we have a long history of great disclosures. And I was like, bro, this is not like trolling people in the chat is not how you would handle like being hacked. Like, and so
At
when
least
I
they have a sense
saw,
of humor, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything humorous about like being one of the long Bitcoin standing, safe, trusted, preferred wallets, and you're just out here like, yeah, we got a long, great history of disclosures. If you had a long, great history of disclosure, you would disclose the fact you had some vulnerabilities and for everybody to watch out, in that regard. But yeah, like that kind of raised a red flag for me.
Shib, I gotta ask though. Apparently, they have like a small team in Canada of like 5 people. Would you trust a company that has a team of 5 people? Like, to like, I don't know. I'm just saying. These are things I'm hearing. They have a tiny team in Canada of 5 or 6 people in an office. Maybe it wasn't the most secure thing in the world.
It's 1.4 thousand. Yeah, about 1,400 wallets. Wasn't it, Crypto Queen? No. I'm sorry. What was it?
Like,
No, it was 1,400 Bitcoin and 4,500 wallets. Right?
yep.
That we were talking about last week. That got hacked.
Yeah, and counting, I think.
Yeah, I ain't got no time to be joking with you in the comments, bro.
So this is kind of crazy.
Like
We're talking about it.
Hey, I'd be pissed. Like if it was me, I mean, I'm not obviously not one of the people, but if it was me, I'd be pissed.
And
yeah,
the
like I'm.
answer to it was to hire all these white hat hackers that are going into these wallets that haven't been hacked yet and moving the money out to safe wallets. But you have to prove then that you're the owner of this cold card with seed phrases and God knows how many passwords and whatever. Like, imagine if you skipped one step or you don't have one thing that you needed and you couldn't prove that it was your wallet and the money's sitting out here safe, but you can't access it. Like, that would freak me out. Because I know there are wallets that I have maybe the seed phrase to or something or the password, but I don't have the other one. You get so used to logging in with your password or somewhere and you haven't had to use that seed phrase in a long time. Like,
Jen,
I
I'm
don't
blowing
know
my
that.
spot right here. No, Jen, so what you were just saying, like passwords, right? So you're talking about two-factor, right? If you have two-factor authentication, it's really hard to hack into it, even if you have the 12-word seed phrase, right, right, Jen?
Yeah, as far as I know, unless you ever had to like move it, right? Like I've had a couple wallets that I've had updates or something, or maybe like Coinbase wallet moved, migrated, and you have to get back into there with your seed phrase. Or sometimes I can't get into Coinbase, so I have to migrate it over to MetaMask and upload the seed phrase to get my wallet showing in MetaMask.
What I mean
And
is, cold card, for example. Like if you only, I don't know how cold card works, but there are like, for example, Tangent, right, or Arculus. You can have two-factor, which means you have to put in the seed phrase, but you also have to have like a PIN code of some sort or something.
yeah, it seems like if you missed one little step of that process, you didn't have like immaculate documentation, that could be a problem for you. But can we go down the rabbit hole on this vendor? How edgy do you want to be?
Feel free. You know
Bender's not
more about it than I
suicidal.
do. You're in charge.
We're off the grid, so let's do it. So this is kind of crazy. Cold Card is acting like they don't know what's going on. This was um, it was a process that they developed around 2020 or so, where they were generating these random seed phrases, and I guess after that, um, a certain release, they changed the way they were doing it to some kind of rolling the dice, and so it was a little more secure after that. But it was kind of crazy. This extractive ghost of unhosted Marcellus, I guess, is somebody on Twitter who did a deep dive into this and said it turns out that the firmware depends on a random project maintained by someone named at Swick who joined GitHub in August 2020. Okay, 3 months later, CoinKite CTO, so they have their own stack. I guess this is CoinKite's property to develop this cold card. He was asking him for permission to use it in the firmware, and it said, imagine you're a CoinKite CTO. You find this 6-day-old project with this weird commit history, and you go, yeah, that looks legit. I'll make the cold card firmware depend on this external dependency made by some random anon. So he implemented into the cold card, violating their own philosophy that they'll build everything in house. It says that Swix controls DocHex personal key and signs his own commits with it. It says this is a very strong sign that both NIMs are the same person. It's impossible to fake these signatures. So I guess the signatures in GitHub are, point back to the same person. even goes so far as to get their GitHub profile fingerprints and compare those. And he said that it's basically pinning it on CoinKite's CTO, which makes it look like an insider job. That he was pretending to be a junior while he talked to himself in issues and PRs. So kind of craziness if there's any truth to that. And yeah, just kind of waiting to see the fallout on that, and if how much truth there is to it. But it's kind of crazy. The whole thing's crazy, to be honest with you. How you can think you have a secure cold card, cold wallet, and all of a sudden it can be hacked for millions and millions of dollars. So if you guys have any insight, anybody in the audience would love to come hear what you have to say. I know nothing about GitHub fingerprints or any of this stuff, but it's very interesting.
All I gotta say, Jen, is Gabby just came up. She probably has something to say, but before Gabby comes up, I just want to say that I met Jen at NFT NIC. She's very happy, has an amazing family, has lots of friends. She is not suicidal in any way.
Exactly. Yes. If I disappear,
It-
it was not me.
I wonder if it's like how, like, we had that run where I shouldn't say everybody, where a lot of big companies were just laying off people, and we're like, yeah, it's an AI upgrade, and they just actually were just probably overstaffed or something like that. And I just wonder if, like, companies are just like, why the AI and the hacking and the infiltrating and that buzzword's going around, if they're just inside job and left
Oh
and right
yeah,
at this
that's
point,
the
and just
exit
playing it on
strategy.
that.
That's the exit strategy of 2026. If things start going bad with the business, you just hack your own wallets or hack your own project, and then you get the money out, make it look like some anonymous hacker used AI to hack you, but you really did it yourself. That's the easy way out. Hey, Mr. Lightspeed, hopefully give us some shed some light on this.
I hope he's getting a good drink
No.
in.
Hey, and I did pin it to the nest, so you guys can read in detail what all this was. What?
Gabby's coming in.
Oh, we have Gabby as well. Hey guys.
Hi, y'all. Look, sorry, y'all. I was getting my nonprofit designation stuff completed. So, hence the reason why it's taking me a little bit long, because we are changing out Shiva Sequoia Forest. That was a 50, no, it's not 501, S Corp to a 501c3. And so that does take some time and some paperwork. So, hence the reason why I'm late, because it was just submitted. But yeah, I missed some of the conversation. So, have to come back to me. But are you talking about AI agents hacking, people's systems? People are being creative now. No
Yeah,
joke.
we're talking
Like,
about all the AI hacks that are out there, but really sometimes in some of these programs and wallets, it's turning out to be insiders just realizing the business is going bad and wanting to get that exit liquidity, so they pretend like someone's hacked them when really it's the own project hacked itself.
Queen, there was something that happened that there wasn't the AI agent that hacked. There's someone who created their own AI agent. And because they couldn't get into their exercise classes, they somehow were able to hack the system where they were able to get into their exercise class, their exercise class above everyone else. And I was like, oh my gosh, the creativity that people have nowadays is crazy. But yeah, the AI hacks are, they're out of control, but they're out of control because of us, and there's no guardrails, and who's to be held responsible when that happens? Is it that we're creating it, or the AI agents doing it on their own? Because you have people out there who are
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.
creating their own hacks, hence the person who wanted to skip the line at the exercise at the gym. I was like, how much more creative can we be? It's crazy out here. Yeah, but it's scary. The cold card wallet, would, I remember, I think it was Zach from Subway had mentioned, and I think David Twall from the Finance Daily space had mentioned that there should be like an extra layer of security on your wallet. So I racked my brain yesterday trying to read more about wallets and where your seed phrase should be stored and where you should really import your wallet into some other wallets. So like have your cold wallet or an air gapped wallet hold your seed phrase and then import it into like maybe I don't know, maybe there's a Polkadot wallet. So it's like have your ledger, hold your seed phrase, then import it into a Polkadot wallet. Let's say if you're getting ready to stake or something of that sort. So you have an extra layer of protection. Now, I don't know how important it is, but from my understanding, the Cold Card wallet or Cold Card didn't have that extra layer, so there was no way to approve it. Maybe I'm a little bit confused there, but I was trying to understand the extra layer of security and making sure that your cold wallet does not turn hot. Hopefully,
Yeah,
I
I think in this
didn't say.
one, I don't remember all the details, but I know there was a version of this code card that came out that didn't have. It had randomly generated phrases, parts of your seed phrase, but they could be guessed easily. That was the problem with this version. And later versions, it came out with some kind of dice roll where it was harder to put those together. But in these few versions that all the money was taken, it was easier for some reason. I see we have Mr. Lightspeed up here. I'd love to get his take on this. Can you hear me, Mr. Lightspeed?
I can, but I've been multitasking a little bit. What would you like me to put a take on?
Are you familiar with the cold card incident and what happened with these seed phrases?
No. Nope.
Oh. Okay, dang.
That's not
Well, I'm
wrong.
glad you're up here because I did want to
He's
talk
not. I
about
thought he was joking. He's serious. I thought he was joking.
What are we talking about?
Code
What are
card,
you talking about?
the Bitcoin hack that just happened.
I'm not tracking it whatsoever. I've been seeking
Okay,
peace.
no worries. Hey, I'm glad you're up here because I did want to talk about the DAO stuff if you wanted to get into that tonight. I know you guys talked about a little bit on Beyond the Blockchain last Friday night, but I think it'd be a good topic for us. And
I can
Bender,
get
what do you
into
think?
some bits and pieces of it and weigh in an opinion. But most of what I've done has already been accomplished, right? Just to share what has already been known actually for a while, but no one has spoken about it. But yeah, I can get into it.
All right, I'm going to ask our gracious host. Can we talk SHIB DAO for a minute, Bender?
In charge.
What'd you say?
You're in charge.
Oh
Can
gosh.
can somebody bring Crypto Moms here? I think she needs to hear this. Crypto Mom, Dark, everybody, come in.
He wants to get the army in now.
Well,
We're bringing Treat Tuesday. It's Monday now.
Just roll it up a day.
Well, I'll just intro it a bit then, since I'm in charge tonight, and we'll just go way off the grid and talk about whatever we want. So, Mr. Lightspeed was the first to notice this. We all know that SHIB has a governance, a DAO, the Doggy DAO, that has been put in place, a few years now. I don't know exactly how many, but it was set up to kind of control the business portion of SHIB and all the entities that followed it, like Bone, Treat, Leash, etc., Shibarium. And it was set up in the Cayman Islands, and it needed a representative, which was a legal team from over there, or at least one person that was set to be the representative of it. And we noticed, or go ahead, Mr. Lightspeed, what you noticed.
Well, I noticed actually many months ago that Leeward had removed themselves. They recused themselves. They basically resigned. And at that point, the DAO no longer had an office, right? You need to have a secretary. You need to have these officers appointed for legal purposes. It could be a legal company. You need to know where to send the mail. You need to know who the registered officer is. You can take the mail, respond to it in a legal fashion, or send it to other people on the foundation, right? And so Leeward, their company, their legal company concept is that they, and my company has that in Delaware too, right? But the difference is that you actually know I have legal representatives in Delaware able to receive legal documents on my behalf legally and do that. And they do that same thing. They just do it for anonymous people who don't want to be known and want to hide behind a legal wrapper. So that's because nobody knows who really is the foundation. Nobody knows, but Leeward does. But it is not in Leeward's place to actually tell me who their client is, I guess. But I had already saw that they had resigned out of that position. So then a clock came on. And if by July 31st, the foundation couldn't hire a new representative, or if a creditor, there were three people, one of the members of the foundation, a creditor, someone who, for example, put in a lot of money. Well, let's say I put in $1 million on this foundation. I'm ticked, and I'm going to go and prove it. I could take it over. The other one, the last one is that those owners, whoever are in the foundation, can find another company like Leeward, pay them all that money, and stand up and get a new secretary. Basically, stand up a new office. So there's a new address. All the legal work can be done, and all the legal ramifications and anything this foundation done off chain. This is what's really important, right? The on chain and the off chain are really a bit of a line, a firewall there. Not so much, but one leads to the other and back and forth, cause and effect. But we're talking a lot about off chain stuff, like the fictitious MOU with the UAE, for example. It was just a low-level government employee who spoke out of turning the shit in half. But either way, if there was, let's say there was an MOU, then who now is legally responsible for these things? So it's a lot of off-chain questions that people need to ask for that. Then July 31st came on, and about 2 or 3 weeks before that, I reached out to Leeward and I just asked him, hey, can you just confirm for me again, are you representing this? And they said no. And I shared that screenshot because they wrote it in a way that allows it to get out there. No one's going to get, they're not going to feel like I have conveyed any private communication or anything, because it wasn't. It was just a simple, no, we are no longer representing the ship Doggy Deo. All right, okay, good. And so I felt comfortable sharing that particular screenshot, but you could also see on there was a conversation. I'm not sharing that part. So July 31st comes by. I already know they got struck out, but it's not really my place to say anything. I understand what shoot the messenger is like already in my life. You already know this as well. I'm just going to let it go and see what happens. And for a good 7 days, nothing happened. No one from the foundation took accountability. No, a full week is a millennia in crypto timeline. Nobody owned up to it from the foundation themselves. Then one of our arch nemesis, an individual I truly despise, tried to lend credibility, but by doing a screenshot and say, "Oh, look, what do we have here? Copyright 2026 Shib Doggy Deo on the Shib.io website." And that's where I kind of lost my cool, and I went on a tirade of a few days of losing my mind. And I apologize, folks. I did say some ugly things, but I'm back in order here. And I've had some good friends come into my DMs and say, "Hey, dude, you gotta, get some peace in your life." But yeah, I kind of unglued. I was taunted even. You must know on the highest authority. Well, goddamn right I do. And here is the highest authority, straight from the government of, the Cayman Islands. And even that, and as y'all know, isn't going to matter. It's going to continue with the mockery and defamation and everything else, even though you guys saw the legal document. It cost me money to pull up that legal document. You can't get anything from the Cayman Islands like that unless you're willing to pay up the fees. So I'm not a paid influencer like I saw People trying to say in their Telegram groups, I'm paid off. Dude, I paid the money myself and no one's funded my efforts to research it. So now it's all out in the public. Enjoy it, have fun with it, do what you need to do. But the end of the day is, as you can see now, that people still aren't asking the right questions. They're not wondering what does that mean off chain. In the SHIB Telegram, not the new one of the older ones. There's like 3 or 4 hours. I'm losing track. Everyone is more concerned about covering it up, trying to minimize it, try to assuage that it's not really a big deal. This kind of behavior actually is really sickening because a whole community thinks like this. So we're not just dealing with, Mazra or Ed. We literally got a whole host of people who are in so deep with their bags. They're willing to do the most ugliest of things. And so no one really cares that the SHIB Doggy DAO is defunct. They're totally defunct. They went past being struck out. They are also dissolved. And that's part 3 of this long-winded speech here is when you're dissolved, to get reinstated, you have to do those 3 things I mentioned earlier and submit it all to the highest court of the land. And that highest court has a small, I'm trying to think of the right word, court. The Supreme Court has a smaller court that handles just these things. And you have to make all things, you have to pay restitution, you have to pay all the outstanding fees. It's vast experience. So the foundation has literally zero chance unless they got a ton of money at this point to make it right, to reinstate themselves.
But Lightspeed, I just want to throw in there that like recently, I think that Bybit tried to sue the Lazarus Group out of North Korea. Bybit's based in Singapore, right? Or Dubai, and then Lazarus Group is based in North Korea. So when you get into these jurisdictions that are foreign, sure, the U.S. is the U.S., but it can get complicated with the Supreme Court and everything.
Not really. Because Bybit got this temporary, I forget what it was, restraining order or something within 24, 48 hours, because the United States holds North Korean assets, right? And, and that money, it can be used to negotiate between the USA and the Korean government. And you go, hey, look, we had to send B-52s over you back in the 60s because you killed a bunch of our people because we just wanted to chop down a tree, 2-story. And so, so that money, then, if it's under U.S. control and hasn't been given back, it can be sued for to try to be made right. Maybe we have in the custody chain the ability to freeze these funds, right? So they can't cash it out. And so they're doing it in the U.S. court, right, Mike? So same thing with the.
Sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that, man. I was texting my mom, making sure she got home. I have to do stuff like that nowadays. But yeah, Lightspeed, that is correct. I believe they're doing it in a U.S. court.
Right, and so with the Cayman just makes it even easier. And the thing is you got to follow money, right? We don't, unless someone now subpoenas Leeward, that legal entity, right? Which can be done. They can still be sued. You can still go after, even though they pulled out, they're the only ones who have the answers. If you're going to want to know anything, you're going to have to engage with Leeward. Chances are pennies or nothing, because my assumption is that the reason why Leeward decided to withdraw is because the bill couldn't get paid. And the reason why I suggest that is because my bills haven't been paid. We know there are a lot of other bills that haven't been paid. So I'm just going to assume they're flat broke, being the foundation, squandered whatever money they had left. Running the blockchain is expensive as it is. And eventually we'll see more bills not get paid. And we'll see more of these dominoes fall. Now, that could be another 6 months from now. So we'll just have to see how long other people charitably try to lift things up to keep things running. But that's a big one.
Mr. Lightspeed, I have a
They're
question
expensive, by
for
the
you.
way. Mm-hmm.
I have a question to put my tinfoil hat on, but say we had a class action lawsuit and someone wanted to sue the foundation for everything that's happened? Like, would dissolving this
Oh, Queen, did we lose you?
I think
We
I know
lost
where
her.
she goes. We did, but I think I got her. I would start with Leeward. I absolutely would. I would get that. Now there's an attorney-client privilege things and stuff that they got, but I bet there is at least some questions that can be asked that we can say we're going to leave you alone. We just need to know who to go talk to, right? Who are your clients, right? There's certain things that can't be protected in attorney-client privilege. They don't have to, for example, share certain things they've communicated with their client. But if you want to figure it out, there's really only one way to start about it, and that's to start with Leeward, sadly, I think, and just get them to concede where the next step goes, and then you work from there. I mean, we all got our guesses, but I would start with Leeward. And I'm not a legal attorney, by the way, but it would seem to make sense that they're literally the only ones that know.
Could throw this out there. This is some fucked up shit. When Leslie showed me this shit, I was like, "Yo, what is going on here?" Because that was mad random with everything that's been going on with the SIB community in the past year.
This one's the worst because that rapper was promised to me when I came on Bad Idea AI 2 months after its launch. The big concept behind Bad was decentralization. But I wanted the assurance of legal support and backing. I never got the legal support and backing, and I was left vulnerable the entire time. So all the people that want to disparage me and everything need to understand that I was left personally vulnerable the whole time, and it was flat out disrespectful. They were supposed to wrap we were promised legal wrappers over the Canine, Bad Idea AI, anything that was listed on the SHIB.io website as a partnership. We were promised wrapping of all the doggy deos, all the various doggy deos. That never happened. So none of the DAOs can legally do the off-chain piece that I was talking about earlier. That's the incredible part. You guys can vote. That's nice, but real DAOs have an autonomous aspect to it that when you vote and the vote goes through, autonomy takes over, the smart contracts carry out the action. Whatever the release of funds or treasury or the change on the protocol then happens in an automated fashion. And that's the part that a lot of people are missing is you can decentralize, you can organize, but the big A, the A in DAO, the automation part, I think people are missing. But anyway, I'll leave it at there. But nobody got wrapped by this entity. This entity ended up standing up and ended up just being lip service for several years until they couldn't pay their attorneys anymore.
The Dark One is here listening attentively because he's very upset, as you guys know, with the sheep community situation, with certain people that should not be mentioned in this group chat right now. Well, this is a recorded space, so I can't say certain names that begin with, an S and Y, HY, but it is what it is. Oh, Jen, I'm sorry. Here you go. Jen, you back? Let us know when you're back.
what the treat VCs are saying about this dissolving of the DAO. Like, I know at least one of them has already gotten sued or something.
Right.
But yeah, what about the rest of them, like Animoca and some of the bigger ones? I wonder if they're having conversations in the background, or with who would they have
I
conversations
bet they
with?
are. They actually know. They just need to know where, I think, is what's going on. But that's a guess. Yeah, one already shut down by fraud with the SEC. Some of the others also, I think, are, but I'm not going to put a name out on a recorded space because without me throwing out proof there, right? It could be slander, it could be defamation. So, but I do think that some of them are really VCs in name, right? They look official. They got the website. It looks all super fancy, but at the end of the day, they never did act as a VC. In other words, doing all this due diligence and doing the proper legal agreements and stuff. They acted more like a band of people like you and I throwing a big commitment behind something in the hope that they can make a lot of money. So I actually don't think a lot of VCs really truly are VCs in the traditional sense, because of how amateurish they act, and the lack of due diligence.
Mr. Lesby, the VCs that are like before VCs would be people that would do 6 months of due diligence. Now VCs are a bunch of kids that are 15 that made money on Bitcoin really easily and they just throw money anywhere.
Yeah, I don't know if that's
I'm exaggerating.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but I've actually met a few of them at conference. I go, oh God, you're calling yourself a venture capitalist. You're not even doing due diligence. You're just an investor. Just call yourself what you are, a high net worth individual who's investing. But the grip part comes with the venture capitalist part. In other words, and it conveys a higher level of professionalism and scrutiny, due diligence, that there is mutual support that's conducted. But no one saw any of these VCs do anything, after the launch. No one saw them write articles. No one saw them write or contribute meaningfully in any way for their investment. So that really makes me wonder what the heck is going on. I'm just thinking, shoot, we'll just write it off. We're rich. We'll just move on. So, I mean, I'm guessing, of course. So always throw that part out there.
Probably a lot of truth there. And while we have you up, I wanted to get your opinion too on this vote. I know you have some concerns. Can you share with us?
Well, Snapshot being what it is, right, is a point in time, only on chain. Most holders are not on chain. There's a trust factor, so you go right into a vote before even establishing a relationship with anybody. Plus, there's no governance system in place. Snapshot is not a DAO. Setting up a vote is not a DAO. What are the rules? What are the rules on making a proposal? What are the rules for debate? What are the rules for quorum? All these things, there's no governance in effect. So that's how can you call that a DAO? So I call it out simply on its merits, that even if there was a vote, what does that mean? You got 3 million wallets who literally don't know what is going on. Most people holding SHIB, or let's just call it Shibarium. I don't even know which token's being used on the thing because I'm not doing anything with it. What makes it legitimate is the question. What makes the vote legitimate? SHIB.io can't call it legitimate. They got their own problems because they don't have a foundation. So they're no longer legitimate. They're defunct. So with no foundation, no SHIB.io. They're all defunct, every bit of it. They were one and the same. So if their own governance is gone, so is SHIB.io in terms of legitimacy. So who's legitimate now? And so you can vote all you want, but voting on the past things, Leash, Bone, Shibarium, Tribojis, all these things, that's past property. Somebody owns it. I don't know who owns that property or whatnot, but I sure as heck wouldn't want to be voting on anything to do with the past. I would vote with new IP, new governance, new rules, new organization. I'd be focusing on just the formation of it. Every project starts with formation, the opening rounds, and you don't go right into step 2, which is what this is. It's in a very improper way of running a business, of making decisions of the way forward when nobody even knows who the proper, delegates are for the community. If people want to do proxy voting through somebody or or any of that. So the governance hasn't even been formed. So it makes no sense to me. So at the point, no, I don't see where there's any legitimacy anywhere. So, I mean, you can vote, but I don't see how that means anything to anybody. I mean, there's millions of other wallets that could say, yeah, whatever you say, yeah, that ain't happening. I mean,
Yeah, it's kind of I don't know what to make of it. It almost sounded like settling a Telegram dispute more than anything. Like, okay, which I'm listening to you guys' feedback, which direction do you want to take it? But like, what authority do they have? Do they have access to any of these things? It sounds like no. So
no, they don't have access to the properties. What is there to vote on? So it becomes symbolic, I guess, if you want to suggest that, we got support to go in a certain way, but in good business sense always says never drown yourself in a bankrupt organization and bankrupt properties and whatnot. And so what you really are seeing are people voting out of their pocket because it's voting with the tokens you hold. So there's now an economic incentive already in the vote itself. And so it's already spoiled by its method. It's already been corrupted. So what really is needed is true DAO experts who understand governments to come in and really talk people through all the ramifications of it. There are legally smart governance individuals amongst us, but they have not been spoken to. And I'm talking lawyers, full-blown lawyers who can help you get through this, get yourself properly organized. You form your organization properly because at the end of the day, why you have these legal wrappers is for all the things you got to do off-chain. That's the reason for the legal wrappers, because someone has to do something off-chain. They're going to have to sign an MOU. They're going to have to sign a legal document. They're going to have to order up work to be paid for, right? Like, for example, when I was on Bad Idea AI, I signed legal contracts with all these exchanges. Those contracts were under my company name. So when the legal wrapper didn't come through, and then I was over $100,000 in arrears with the bills, I shut down all the exchanges. I go, look, it's not on me I'm not going to pay for all these exchanges. Why? Why should I pay it on my own pocket? I'll just shut down the exchanges. And so, and that's what I did, because I was the one that was legally responsible. Does that make sense? So,
Mr. Lightspeed, I have to ask a question though. Isn't the whole point of having DAOs and being decentralized that you don't have to do anything the legal way? Why does somebody have to be in charge of the legal aspects of things?
well, how are you going to pay for? How are you going to sign a legal document with Binance?
I have no clue. I mean,
there's one person who is actually responsible for the SHIB Binance listing. That person can delist SHIB right now if he wanted to. Someone has to legally own up to this stuff.
To be fair though, is our Binance? I'm not trying to be like difficult or anything, but are Binance and Bybit like good examples? They just got kicked out of MiCA, out of Europe, right? And they're not even allowed in the US.
But you're kind of missing my point.
I am. I'm not trying to be difficult. I'm just asking.
Because you got to pay for services. If you can't do it yourself, and you need to hire an expert for whatever the case might be, you got to pay to get developers on board. You need them to work and make a game. You're going to sign a contract, and then you're going to pay them for the work. And so someone's got to be legally responsible for that thing. Otherwise, don't do the things that require that legal wrapping for. So you wouldn't build a layer 2 that you're legally responsible for. You wouldn't build. So someone's got to pay, for example, Amazon for the server time. Someone had to pay for it. If it's not charitably done, and they're saying, I'm willing to sign the terms of service and to stand up the number of GPUs and CPUs I need and to host all the code, there's an illegal arrangement there. And so that's where the legal wrapper comes in, right? You don't have to have a legal wrapper. You can vote all day long. I don't know how you're going to get anything done. You can vote all day long, but how do you get something done? Who's then going to do it? And so they become symbolic. So unless you thoroughly make a decentralized autonomous and you plug in the autonomy into it, because there are some DAOs, the moment that you take a vote and the vote passes, the multi-sig automation takes into effect, and it'll do a 7-day lock, for example, and then the funds are released to whatever people were voted on. A snapshot vote is just a vote, but I mean, I don't know how that makes anything legitimate without a quorum.
Yeah, that's what my
What
I
question is
understand.
like, what is the quorum? Because you could vote all day, and then you could cut it off whenever you wanted to. If you wanted a vote to go a certain way, like that quorum should be either on the snapshot or communicated to whoever's
Right,
voting.
right. You know, I'm not going to say I'm not disagreeing with these individuals or anything like that, because the ones that remain are actually quite nice to me. None of them have picked hard battles with me. I looked at lists. I go, some have been very damn quiet and turned their eye the other way, but it never done me wrong. So I'm not going to get in their way. I'm not going to get in there and start stinking up the whole place. I'm not going to go do that, because no one there has done me direct harm. It's just that it's just fraught with what makes it legit. And then I see the selfishness of people trying to do this so they can use others out of exit liquidity. I would never do that. I'd always clean break and build something new, and allow people to freely trade fair market rules. You sell your bag and you buy into the new project. And the most I would ever do is just set up a liquidity pool so I could make that process maybe a little smoother and frictionless, so people can, if they want to sell and move into a new project. But heck, I'm not going to airdrop anybody tokens so that they can just start dumping on people left and right as soon as a project kicked off. That's just suicide. That's actually the worst thing you can do for a project, just to V2 anything. Never, never, never V2 anything. Just declare bankruptcy on the old project and start fresh. That's been my personal opinion. So I've never V2'd.
Yeah,
Now, if you do have wholly, that's kind of geeky. If all your liquidity is wholly unlocked and preserved, you can actually buy out a project, right? You can buy the project, get the liquidity, hand it all over, and you sell all the liquidity, and you can then move it over and make it a V2. But you need wholly unlocked, unburned, all assets unburned, unlocked, and freely transferred. 100% of it. Otherwise, that doesn't work. And we all know that scenario very rarely plays out. I've done that once successfully to save a project in 8 years. And so, only because every single asset was still under control and unlocked. After a year, by the way, it was locked, but after a year, everything was still preserved and tightly controlled with security. And so, none of this applies here.
Yeah, I agree. That's the one thing I was totally against was V2s with no liquidity to back it, because it would just be new pump fund tokens drop, basically, where the either early CA or token allowances or whatever the way that the team's going to get ahead and get some of that, to get some profit off of it before it dumps. I don't see any other way, right? With no liquidity, what do you have? A rush to
But
the
anyway,
exit,
the
right?
point is, I July 31st, I could have put this all out. I didn't. I was provoked, and so 7 days later, and so that I didn't have it on good authority. So I went ahead and showed it on good authority, because at that point, it's just a matter of integrity and standing up for my good name. But yeah, I hope people ask the right questions. So I did put a post for people to start asking the right questions. It's a list of questions. I think it's about 10 questions people can go through, and they can start asking those questions. But I'm just a messenger. At the end of the day, The only thing I really did was just showcase a screenshot of the forms, and if people want to go pay their $60, they can go pull it up themselves too. It's actually a simple process. It's instant. As soon as you pay your fee, you get a copy of it, but you need to screenshot it right away or download it because it's hard to get back to.
Well, thank you, Mr. Lightsey, for bringing that to our attention, because probably most of us would not have known without you. So thank you once again. And
Correct.
yeah, Shabender, I see your hand up. Go for it.
No, I was just going to ask you. We are coming up on that hour and a half mark. You did originally say an hour. Do you want to keep going, or
It's up to you guys. I mean, I feel like we probably talked it out tonight, but there were a lot of topics we didn't get to. So I guess let's show some emojis. Do we want to keep going, or do we want to wrap? Let's say keep going is thumbs up and wrap is thumbs down. What do
Either
you?
way is fine, but remember that we will be cooking tomorrow. If you guys are tired tonight, we'll be cooking again tomorrow as part 2 continuation.
All right, let's do that. Let's do that. I see Gabby's got a thumbs up.
speaking of that,
So let's hold our
Gabby,
topic.
please. I was going to say, Gabby, put your space in the comments, please. For some
I was
reason,
just be honest. I can go an hour and I'm like tonight. If you guys want to keep going, I'll keep going. Just saying.
Mike, you please put your space in the comments too. Everybody put your space in the comments. If your space ain't in the comments, put it in the daggone comments. I got to do some shout outs, though, before we get off here. First off, shout out to Coach George. See you in the building. Appreciate you. Good to see you. Always praying for you. As well as Dart Shib. Appreciate you, too, as well. Space Penguin Girl in the building. Gabby in the building. Q-Tip in the building. I'm watching that project. I got you on the same bookmarks, Q-Tip. Great job with that too, man. David in the building, Dulcie in the building. They've been here since the beginning here. I think Treasure's in here early, and anybody that's kind of slipped through, we always appreciate you. Heck, if you like to tweet last Saturday, I don't care. Whatever you can do to interact at this day and point, man, I just appreciate it. The only other thing, I'm gonna say some of these for next week, Cream, but I just want to kind of give y'all a heads up. They are switching from the rewards program on X to the what they have called the original creator rewards. I think I posted here in the Jumbotron. I did not actually. I will do that now. But read into this. It's a long-winded thing, but you've got to re-enroll. I think in September for that one. And it sounds very similar to the rewards program, but more original stuff, I guess, is just, I was kind of reading it right before the space started. So not X advice, but yeah, it's going to be a whole new thing, I guess, kind of roll out. Speaking of that, Nikita Bear he was the head of the X program, created all that kind of thing, absolutely destroyed the Android app for X. That will be his legacy in my mind, along with whatever he did to crypto Twitter on X there too. But whatever. Resigned this week. I think a lot of people are sad for him to go. I am not. But at the same time, if Elon got it that bad the first time, there's just no telling what's around the corner. So I'm just going to be careful what I wish for, because it can't get worse. We'll just see. Sorry, Elon. Like, just like, at least you could have done, Nikita, was unshadow ban me before you left, bro. Like, you could have got me back to full, like, fully viewed, unadulterated, uninterrupted Bender. Like, check my cheats from 2022, y'all. It's night and day. But whatever.
Hey, don't feel bad. He blocked me, Bender, and I don't even know how he knew who I was. So
Man,
that's bad.
and then he just pieced out on you. He just left you. And you know, they had that thing where they rolled out too. If you got blocked by like a bigger account by him, like it weighed heavily against you. That's the messed up
Yeah,
thing.
my engagement's wrecked. My engagement's wrecked. But that's okay. I don't come here for engagement.
I got I got blocked by an entire political party, damn near. Like, and I don't even know why, because like I don't even post like political stuff up. I think it's just because a lot of my followers lean one way more than the other. But I got a lot of followers from both parties. But I looked up, I was like, what the heck? And I just
Don't worry,
noticed,
shitbender.
yeah,
Don't worry. It's called. I'm a white supremacist. Apparently, you see my profile picture, right? I'm a white supremacist and a Nazi.
I don't know, something like that. I don't care. Like I'm just out there. I got extreme views on every topic in the world, and it could go left or right. But yeah. So yeah, there's that. And then Gabby, you weren't in the room earlier when I was talking about AI creating jobs. 16 new viruses humanity had never heard of, not in nature. AI did that for you. Also, one I didn't get to talk about, they're talking about what was this queen? 80 AI agents for every human alive to do a task. So, like anything from trading your crypto to reading your emails to doing your taxes for you. You're gonna have like an AI agent. You're just gonna have this little army of AI agents following you around. So just imagine there's like 8 billion people on the planet, and all of us have like 80 AI agents. Just running around doing tasks. So. AI's out here creating jobs. Gabby, you're in charge. If AI actually creates jobs for humans, tag me in it. I need to know. I'm going to be on the lookout for it. We're going to find Gabby. We're not going to talk about the 23,000 jobs lost this month, net minus 16 plus a potential 80 per million humans. But we'll just say the 16. So whatever that is, 23,000 minus 16 AI new jobs created this month. But we are going to be on the hunt for AI creating human work somehow. That's
But Shiv, I want
Danger.
I'm bound to make that happen for you, Miss
go
Gabby.
ahead, Jen. I have something to say, Jen. I want to say something positive after Jen speaks for
Uh,
Space Penguin. That's
okay, I just want to just like think about this for a minute. Everybody's grandparents running AI agents. Like I can't even set up my mom's iPhone for her. Like how is this going to work?
Yeah, I don't even think you really have to. Like, it's built in everybody's phone now. Like, all you gotta do is just say like, hey this or hey that. I don't want to say it because I'm going to trigger everybody's phone, but yeah, you just do that and just tell them to ask questions. But I can't even believe it, y'all. Like,
Gosh, it sounds so dangerous.
as much as I rail against AI, like me and Jim and I, we just road dog it on the highway. Like, I'm just, hey this, hey that, find this, answer me that, figure out this Batman. Like it's, like I can't even help it. Like it's not, yeah. And I think like Gemini is like a fully blown, well, it calls itself a fully blown AI agent, but I can see it. It's like LLM on steroids. Like plus it has so much connected to it. Like it'll go into Google Maps. It'll go into, it just goes into all the Google offshoots to find stuff for you or figure out things for you. Or just give you things that you weren't even asking for on the topic that you weren't thinking about. Like it's pretty cool. But I'm just on a serious note. I do want to find that's what I want to do for the rest of the year. I want to try to find AI doing something. We'll see. I get more than the other stuff. I mean, we'll get something negative about AI every week. That's no issue. I want to hunt for the positive stuff. We want to deep dive. We want to research on that. We want to find those cracks and crevices where AI has some ray of light somewhere, like Queen, and helping her out medically. Like that was a couple months ago. We're going to find another story like that. I'm sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
no. So Space Penguin, you're with us, right? Okay, so I'm a lobbyist, as you guys know, for in different states, right? So I've been lobbying like the past 6 months in Rhode Island, and I was kind of frustrated because nothing was happening. But one good thing did happen. Space Penguin. I'm not sure how this exactly was 100% legal, but the state senate in the state of Rhode Island, they pushed they unanimously voted for something called like some crypto council or something. So now they have like a couple people from the government, and same with Crypto Head and people from the private sector that have formed a crypto council, and they're going to be flying people in from across the country to basically talk to state legislatures in the state of Rhode Island, the governor's office, and everybody on crypto policy and crypto formation. They're going to give their first report next year, 2027, January, their final report in January 2028. But they're going to propose policies like passing Bitcoin strategic reserves and all kinds of cool stuff. So I just wanted to say that there's positive momentum, and just don't give up, guys, because listen, I've been working in Rhode Island for the past 4 or 5 years, and I've wanted to go up so many times, but I just kept going at it, going at it, going at it, going at it. And with these different states, it's really hard at the state level because things aren't going to happen overnight. They take time. You see Texas, I remember when Texas is back in 2017, 2018, they were starting to propose these policies, and they just got their Bitcoin strategic reserve passed last year. So at the legal front, politically, keep fighting, and we're going to get there with these state governments. I know we hate government, and you guys hate it when I talk about it. I know Dark hates it when I talk about it in the group chat. CryptoBumps hates it even more when I talk about it on Telegram. But we have to. This is where we're going to make progress via the government. Unfortunately, this is where we're at. Sorry about that, guys. I know you guys hate it when I talk about government again, but I had to say it. Space Penguin, good stuff on Rhode Island. Mr. Lightspeed, hopefully we're going to get... I'm going to see if I can get people like yourself and maybe even like Crypto Queen out here. Suggest that you guys come here and you guys talk to the state government and propose policies as well.
Hey, and I'm glad you brought that up here. One more for this one too. Not Congress. Well, I'm not sure if it was Congress as a whole, but the Senate took a recess. They could have voted on the Clarity Act, but they didn't. I think it got pushed back to September something now. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. From what I read, there's a lot of procedural stuff that they got to go through, jump hoops through behind the scenes. I don't know, y'all. Like I said, they had just you just could have put it in with the Ukraine bill, man. It would have been passed, but that's another story. Yeah, they can't. I don't know. Maybe we'll get the Clarity Act before the government shuts down again. I don't know, y'all. Midterms are coming up.
You want me to go there? I can give you guys a little bit of a preview of how this can go after you finish your comments.
Give me 30 seconds on it. Let's go.
Oh, really fast? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Give me a 30-second recap on it.
Okay, so they can do this in September. Basically, the Senate can vote on it twice. First 60 votes, then 51 votes, and then they can go to the House and they can vote on it really fast. If not, they're going to have to wait until after elections in December and get it all done in that same order.
Nice. Hopefully they get something done. I don't know. I'm at a point I'm not even excited about it. I don't even care anymore. Pass it, don't pass it. I think the SEC, the FCT, CFTC, like we talked about Queen last week's got some kind of backup plan for, some structural wording moving forward. If it doesn't, we'll see. I don't know. Market can pump at any time. Who knows? Crash at any time. Who knows? I don't know. People out here making $1.4 billion with the Clarity Act. So, here we go. Queen, I know you be out on the road. Any final thoughts?
Hey, can you hear me? I keep cutting out again.
Yep, that's why I wanted to make sure we got your final thought in. Go ahead.
Just one thought on the Clarity Act. If you believe what Polymarket says, I think the prediction is in the teens for it to be passed this year. So don't get your hopes up too high, Bender. But just want to say thanks everybody for being here tonight. Really appreciate Mr. Lightspeed coming to give us some takes on the SHIB DAO. Mike, appreciate you being up here and co-hosting with us, and everybody who came. Just love all you guys, and see you next week.
Absolutely beautiful. And glad to have you here, not only throughout the space, but giving us a final thought. Those aren't guaranteed with these spaces. So truly, truly appreciate it. And thank you so much for being in charge this week. I actually had everything prepared just in case if you weren't able to go, but it's always better when Queen's in charge, just being honest. Mr. Lightspeed, you got any final thoughts for us? It is Queen. Sorry, saw your thumbs down. That triggered me. It is. Mr. Lightspeed, if you got any final thoughts, go ahead. If not, it's okay. Everybody throw up a heart, throw up any emoji you want if you like it when Queen's in charge. How about that? Let's just see. Let's just take an unofficial vote and poll right now. Even thumbs down, Queen counts, so that we're just going to count that. If you like it when Queen's in charge, let me just see some emojis go up. I'm on delay. Look, yep, we know. So everybody knows exactly. Josie,
I'm just a
Josie,
co-host, Bender. I signed up to be a co-host. That's what I do.
I know, but you're still
I
in
like her
charge.
accent. I like her accent. Just want to say that.
Yeah,
I'm here for Jen. Sorry, man. I'm just here.
exactly. We're all here for Queen. Just to be
And I like
honest,
pizza. I just want to say I really like pizza. If anybody could tell today, Jen, her his queen.
I
One
am
final thought.
Not
a
eating those
pizza
jalapenos on there.
connoisseur.
I was
You don't
wondering why
put.
pizza was showing up. Pizza strips, all this other
Yeah,
food.
I like pizza a lot
Why was it showing up on the top of my feed? How did you earn that right?
because Rhode Island is a pizza space. Facebook, when you have to get up here and explain why I'm talking about pizza all day in Rhode Island, she's not coming, is she? I like pizza.
Look, this is how messed up my feed is because of Nikita. Because all I see is freaking, hey, I'm going over here and I'm going to go to Cracker Barrel and check out my pizza, man. I'm like going, my whole feed is about pizza and Cracker Barrel.
I really like pizza. I really like Cracker Barrel.
I clicked like somewhere. I must have hearted you somewhere, done a retweet. I'll go kicked off on it, and I messed up for life. So somebody post something cool, and I'll like it and I'll retweet it or something because I gotta fix my algo right now.
I just posted about clam cakes and clam chowder. If you like that, then you'll get more of that.
So would help.
There we go. Nothing bad advice. Not financial advice or healthy eating advice, but yeah. Mike, any last words? Any final thoughts?
That was it, man. I just really like pizza.
Hey, beautiful way to end the night. Again, my fault, y'all. I'm sorry I went on a COVID treatment rant. I think also because they announced this week that they authorized a flu mRNA vaccine that didn't help things. And Secretary Kennedy's also remotely responsible for allowing that one to go through because it's ultimately part of the health department that he runs. It's just making America healthy again. And then just, dude, we could have like the European food standard right now, y'all. We can have so many things. We can have so much nice things, y'all. That's another story. I'm not going to go into that this week. We'll save some of these for next week. I'll just keep the list, Queen, and we'll just add to it. And I'll just kind of run down and try not to get sidetracked this week. But on behalf of everybody that's come up here to spoke, Gabby, appreciate you coming up earlier. Please check out her space tomorrow. Also, the Truth Space. I'm going to make sure I set my reminders from both. Beyond the Blockchain on Fridays. My guy Zach was in here earlier, and everybody else in between. If you got a space, just please post them down. But otherwise, appreciate you showing up for us, and thank you. And we'll check you out. Definitely stay safe in your travels, and God bless. Take care.
This space was downloaded via spacesdown.com. Visit to download your spaces today.